Okay, good morning. Welcome, everyone. We can get started now. Thanks so much for joining us today, and thank you for the team at Trinity for hosting what is a very, very important announcement. My name is Stephen MacDonald, and I'm the President and CEO of Efficiency One, Efficiency Nova Scotia, and I'm so pleased to be the MC for today's event. And so, as we begin, I want to acknowledge that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. I would also like to acknowledge that African Nova Scotians are a distinct people whose histories, legacies, and contributions have enriched Mi'kma'ki and Nova Scotia for over 400 years. So today is a very, very important day. And before I call on Minister Fraser to speak, I want to say a few words about energy efficiency. You know, I've had the privilege of working in this field for over a decade now, and during that time, I have spoken to many groups about the benefits of energy efficiency. I've been in front of regulatory bodies and public officials at all levels to defend and justify investments in energy efficiency, and I've seen more spreadsheets than I care to remember that calculate things like energy savings and avoided greenhouse gas emissions and avoided CO2. But never have I witnessed a more critical time than the present for energy efficiency. We're all seeing the impacts of climate change, and as a coastal province, Nova Scotia is particularly at risk. But mitigating climate change doesn't have to mean more costs, and that's where energy efficiency comes in. So over the last 10 years, energy efficiency has been responsible for over 25% of Nova Scotia's overall reductions in greenhouse gases. But at the same time, Nova Scotians have saved almost $1.5 billion on their energy bills because of energy efficiency. And so, if you said another way, if you think of Nova Scotia as having one big energy bill, because of all the insulation and energy efficient lighting and heat pumps, you know, the work that's done by companies like Trinity, that bill is more than $1.5 billion lower because of energy efficiency. Those are real dollars in real people's pockets at a time when everyone needs it. And so today is a very, very important announcement. So now I would like to introduce the Honourable Sean Fraser, Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship, and Member of Parliament for Central Nova. So Minister Fraser was first elected as the Member of Parliament for Central Nova in 2015. He has served as Canada's Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship since 2021. And prior to this, he served as Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Finance and to the Minister of Middle Class Prosperity and Associate Minister of Finance from 2019 to 2021, and as Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Environment and Climate Change from 2018 to 2019. Before entering politics, Minister Fraser had a successful legal career with one of Canada's top-ranked law firms where he practiced commercial litigation and international dispute resolution. Minister Fraser holds a law degree from Dalhousie University, a master's degree in public international law from Leiden University in the Netherlands, and a Bachelor of Science from St. Francis Xavier University. Minister Fraser grew up here in Pictou County, where he and his wife Sarah are currently raising their children Molly and Jack. Minister Fraser, if you could join us.
Look, let me start by saying thank you so much for hosting us to the folks here at Trinity, Dwaine, Roddy, and the crew. Stephen, thank you for moderating today's announcement as well. The work that you've been doing over the last number of years since before I was involved in politics is really an inspirational example and demonstrates what we can do when we invest in energy efficiency. In particular, I want to say thank you for the land acknowledgement and for acknowledging the unique history of African Nova Scotians in this province as well. I think it's important we all know where we came from and acknowledge the history of our province. So look, folks, we've got good news here today. We're going to be sharing some news that's going to do a number of important things, saving households money, reducing pollution in our province and across the country, and also creating jobs in the green economy. You know, it's not a secret that affordability has been front of mind for people who live in our community. I think if you talk to anybody about what their top issues are, they'll tell you that the cost of groceries has been going up, They'll tell you that the cost of their home heating oil bill is making life more challenging, and the ability to get by is not something that they can take for granted. Over the last number of months, we've been implementing a number of measures to try to address affordability issues as the cost of living continues to go up and bills become harder to pay. You would have seen in the recent fall economic statement a doubling of the GST rebate over the next 6 months, new supports to help low-income families with the cost of rent, a new program to help low-income families with dental care, a top-up to the old age security for seniors over the age of 75, and new measures to eliminate interest on student loans and to make sure that students don't have to repay their loans until they're earning at least $40,000 a year. The reality is that we're going through every aspect of our government's programming to understand what we can do to help make life more affordable by making sure that people have the means to get by. Today we're making a new major announcement that's going to have a very big impact on a lot of homes across Canada, and in particular a lot of homes in Atlantic Canada. And that's because we've seen the price of home heating oil over the past year has now more than doubled. This is really stretching families by making it more difficult for them to cover the cost of basics, grocery and rent or mortgage payments, as they're trying to stay warm over the course of the winter as well. It's perhaps appropriate on the drive in. This is the first morning we've seen a decent amount of snow on the ground, and to remind us that winter's just around the corner. I want to share some details of a brand new program that we're going to be announcing that's going to help families cover the cost of replacing home oil furnaces with brand new heat pumps. The Government of Canada is going to provide families with up to $5,000 in federal grants for this purpose. Le gouvernement du Canada vous fournira jusqu'à $5 000 en subvention fédérale pour vous aider à remplacer vos fournaises Stellarton. And this federal grant is going to cover all aspects of the cost and installation of the heat pump, whether it's the equipment itself and the cost of putting it in, electrical upgrades that might be needed, or even the removal of the old oil tank that's going to be replaced with the heat pump. The program is going to be live in January, and it's going to be a top-up to the Canada Green Homes Initiative, which already provides grants of up to $5,000 and interest-free loans of up to $40,000 for home energy retrofits. These programs are helping homeowners save money, and these are in addition to the new grant of up to $5,000. This is also helping create jobs across our country. It's no coincidence that we're here at Trinity Energy. I remember when I first got started and had a meeting with some of the folks at the business who's going to share some details of their growth over the past number of years. And to see you've built this company from a few employees, a couple of guys who wanted to get something started because you had the skills necessary to help people out, to now employing dozens and dozens of members of our community, demonstrates what can happen if we actually make the kinds of investments that are necessary to reduce pollution and to save homeowners money. At the same time, we can put our neighbors to work. And I want to say thank you to Trinity, not just for hosting us today, but for what you've done in the community over the last number of years. La subvention fédérale pour aider les Canadiens à économiser de l'énergie dont nous savons déjà aide les propriétaires à économiser de l'argent. Elle crée des emplois aussi dans tous les pays et en même temps, elle contribue à réduire la pollution. Overall, this program is going to help tens of thousands of families in Canada, most of whom in Atlantic Canada are still burning oil to heat their homes. To apply for the oil to heat pump grant, you'll be able to apply online as soon as the early new year by simply proving that you're the owner of a house and providing a copy of your heating bills. Unlike the current program, there's no in-home assessment required to be eligible, and we'll continue to work with members of the community to ensure they have access to this program. And once it's approved, the money will be provided upfront to help cover the costs of the installation and the equipment and any other associated costs. And it goes to show, from my perspective, that we can save people money as we're doing the right thing for the environment. I think it's particularly important that we reflect on what we've all been through this fall here in Atlantic Canada. When we've seen Hurricane Fiona sweep through, we would be remiss if we thought inaction on climate change didn't come with a cost as well. When I talk to farms in our community, many of them have lost 6 figures trying to replace the crops that were damaged. We've seen silos torn apart. We've seen wharves across Atlantic Canada that have been damaged. We've seen untold damage to personal property. We've got programs to respond in the event of these severe weather events. But today's program is going to help people save money, but also make it less likely that we are impacted by severe weather events by reducing our pollution in the first place, rather than simply paying for it after the damage has been done. We're going to keep making energy use more affordable and efficient as we help reduce our emissions. Notre gouvernement fédéral rend l'utilisation de l'énergie plus abordable et plus efficace en contribuant à réduire les émissions. In fact, because of the way that heat pumps work, this is going to save, render a person's home energy system between twice and 4 times more efficient than an oil furnace, which means thousands of dollars in saving for households and communities across Canada every year for years to come. We're going to keep working to put money back in people's pockets as we advance these new programs and create new jobs in an industry that's going to be here for the long term. I want to say thank you again for everyone who's taken the time to join us here today. The combined impact of this new $250 million program on top of existing programs will now see grants at least of $10,000 available for home energy retrofits, including replacing home heating oil with heat pumps. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks to our host at Trinity. Thanks to Efficiency One and everyone for joining. I'm looking forward to hearing some others remark on the importance of this program. Take care.
Thank you, Minister, for that incredible news and very, very kind remarks about the work that's happening here in Nova Scotia, again, being led by companies like Trinity, so thank you. So I now want to introduce Dwaine MacDonald. So Dwaine is the President and CEO of the Trinity Energy Group. For over 15 years, Trinity Energy Group has been one of Atlantic Canada's most trusted building envelope specialists and on the forefront of energy efficiency. Founded in 2006, the Trinity Energy Group of companies has grown to include Trinity Maintenance Solutions, Trinity Inspection Services, Trinity Distributors, and the Matheson Windows and Doors organization. The company now has over 95 employees at branches throughout all 4 Atlantic provinces. They're one of the largest residential and commercial energy efficiency and fireproofing businesses in all of Atlantic Canada. Trinity has been a longtime partner of Efficiency Nova Scotia and is a great example of the growth the industry has experienced over the past decade as a result of increased commitments to energy efficiency and climate action. Dwaine, you and Roddy do great work here. Please join us.
Thank you, Stephen. My name is Dwaine MacDonald, President of Trinity Energy Group. I would like to start by providing a warm welcome to Minister Sean Fraser, our partners at Efficiency Nova Scotia, media and guests. Thank you for joining us at our facility today. This is an important day for our industry and the future of fighting climate change. We are thrilled with today's announcement in the Government of Canada's continued effort in helping homeowners invest in green energy. This funding will provide so many homeowners the opportunity that they may not otherwise have been able to in making a switch from home heating oil to heat pumps. 16 years ago, I would never have imagined I would be standing speaking to you today. Trinity has evolved from a team of 3 people into Trinity Energy Group, as Stephen has mentioned, with divisions Trinity Inspection Services, Trinity Distributors, and Matheson Windows and Doors. With a total now, I'll actually change, I was told 99 people as of yesterday, and today I was told we just hired our 100th, so it's a big day for us. Trinity helps people be comfortable in their homes and save on energy costs at the same time as helping to do their part for the environment. We are a proud partner of Efficiency Nova Scotia and have spent the last 16 years working across Atlantic Canada to become energy efficiency leaders with services and solutions for both residential and commercial clients. It is incredibly amazing to look back at the last 16 years and what the energy efficiency sector has grown into. I'm proud the economic spin-off our business provides reaches right across Canada. From the local independent mechanic who services our fleet to equipment purchased from a manufacturer in Ontario. The best part for me is the amazing feeling to be able to help people be comfortable in their own homes, whether that comes through keeping them warm or saving them money on their power bills. It all goes a long way. As one of the largest Atlantic Canadian heat pump installers, we can confidently assure you that these units provide year-round comfort to keep you warm in the winter and cool in the summer, provide better indoor air quality, and are climate friendly, And when properly installed, a heat pump uses half to a third as much energy as electric baseboards or a gas furnace. Heat pumps are the most efficient way to heat and cool your home versus traditional oil heating systems. Everyone deserves a warm home. And I'm hopeful that accessibility to efficient home upgrades will help us achieve that goal. My team and I are very much looking forward to continuing to work with Nova Scotians in addressing climate change and creating a more sustainable future for all. In 2021, our team performed work on approximately 8,900 homes and businesses with an estimated energy savings of 26.7 million kilowatts per hour. That translates into approximately $4.3 million in energy savings for Atlantic Canadians just last year. Energy efficiency is the foundation of our business. It's ingrained in our team, and we are very passionate about helping people. It's what we do. It is Trinity Energy Group. Thank you.
Thanks, Dwaine. That was really well said. Thank you. So now I'd like to introduce Kayla Muir. And Kayla's a local homeowner who's going to speak to us about how this initiative can help her and her family, and I think put some real words around how this program would help. So, Kayla?
Hi, my name is Kayla, and my family and I live about 15 minutes from here. My partner and I are raising two small boys, Max, who's 3, and Luke, who's 1. Like many other Nova Scotians, we use oil to heat our home in the winter time, and with the way prices are going up, we have been doing what we can to keep up. We are feeling the difference in price in almost everything we buy, from food and clothes to electricity. But one of my family's biggest costs is our oil to heat our home during the winter months, and it is sadly something that makes us forgo other necessities. The tough reality is that these days, like many families, the money we spend on heating our home means less bread and milk in our kitchen. Just to help you understand what families like mine are going through, we couldn't afford to have the oil truck come fill our tank last year. So when my partner and I could, we filled jerry cans at the local gas station and took our oil home, so we weren't all in the cold. This is a tough time, and my family is getting through it, but today's news really feels like a light at the end of the tunnel. I know there are people who have it a lot worse than we do, and I just wanted to come out today to tell them that I see them and really hope that this and other government programs give them the support that they need. There's no shame in what we are all going through right now, and I am just really happy that someone took the time to listen. Thank you to Sean and the federal government for this announcement.
Thank you, Kayla, for sharing that story with us. Thank you. So that concludes the speaking portion of today's event. We'll now move into question period. And so I think we have about 15 minutes for questions. And so I can moderate, or members of your team can moderate. And yeah, so let's open it up.
Are you good with it, Stephen?
I'm good.
You're doing a great job.
So any questions?
Steve, Ray, any questions?
Yes, sorry.
Question, actually. For people who have a current heat pump, is this something that could filter over into that, or is it just people who are on oil-based heat at present?
Sure. So today's new announcement is for replacing home heating oil. One of the conditions to qualify is that you were using home heating oil and that you're transitioning to a heat pump. The other grant program that I mentioned that is stackable with this program, the Green Earth Home Grant, is on a wider range of energy efficiency measures that you could qualify for. And that's a $5,000 grant as well, with up to $40,000 in interest-free loans for people that may want to take on other energy improvements. But today is just the home oil replacement to heat pumps. Certainly.
So if you have an oil burning furnace and you want to keep that, can you still qualify for this grant? Or is it a prerequisite that you have to remove your furnace and your oil tank?
So you have to be replacing the energy source with a heat pump. I don't believe you're required to physically remove the furnace, though those costs would be eligible. Of course, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for many households to continue to use home heating oil if it's far more expensive than being able to address the cost of it with a heat pump. So this goes toward the cost of the replacement technology. So I don't think you have to physically remove the furnace, but if you're buying it and buying a heat pump and have been using oil, then the costs will be eligible.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of people that might use oil burning furnace to heat their hot water, that sort of thing.
Okay, look, we might follow up just to be more specific, but I don't think that will render you ineligible as long as you were using a home oil to heat your home and are replacing it with a heat pump, then the costs should go towards covering that heat pump.
Thank you.
Certainly. We all good? Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, look, thanks very much, everyone. And Steve, I think you wanted to chat for 2 minutes after? Super.
We're gonna get a photo?
Okay.